definitely deal with that rumble vibes.
Okay, there it go. Dang,
So I'm
why would it do
being
that
in
though? You still in the game, Cryo?
Yeah, I'm in the gang. What up? What up?
Oh, gang, gang.
listening, man. It's what I mean.
Ooh wee. Is y'all winning? Cause they kicked me out. Oh, why did I delete that? I should have just. Okay, yeah, private. Let me download that and
They
just
kicked
save
you out
it.
because you weren't moving, bro.
I was moving back and forth while I was doing this. I was moving my controller left, right, left, right. It was a teammate, one of the teammates that was just shooting me for no reason at all. I don't
That
know.
was me.
Oh. I didn't even see his name on his head. I didn't even look at your name.
They kicked you out because you was too old.
Oh, there you go, right there, Rob. Yeah, I am,
Texas
for real.
Rob, can
They say he's
can
too
you
slow.
just
We can't.
email me or like get a drone and send me a pound of coke, please?
Hey, man, we live on YouTube right now.
Coca-Cola.
Man, like I know you want cherry coke and shit, but you know it's illegal.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
I,
Everybody knows that's a joke. Nobody here can afford it.
dude, I'm literally the bum of the stream. Everybody knows I can't buy shit.
Rob Burrito. Wow, man. That's up,
Yeah.
crowd. We know you're kidding.
Mister, I smoke more
We know,
blunts than the people
we
that
know you're
got
a trust fund
jobs.
baby,
All
Rob.
right.
Come on.
I mean, what part of email or drone do you not understand that makes it not kidding?
The
Send
email
your
part,
butler. Send your butler to pick it up,
the
man.
email
Send your
Hey,
part of the
cartels
drone.
use emails and drones.
Man, hey Rob, you need to go back
Yeah.
and you need to watch Lucy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lucy in the
Oh yeah.
sky.
I did. I watched that one while tripping one day.
Oh, oh, you did it watch. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. That one. But it was before I ever met this group. It was one of the
Yeah.
first times I tripped again, and I didn't trip that hard. Like I know it sounds ridiculous. I ate 5 grams and didn't trip that hard. But and other people, they can't tell up from down. But I'm sitting there, I'm watching the movie, and but I thought about so that was like 2 years ago maybe, and
Yeah.
but then I started thinking after I joined this group and started listening, that movie makes way more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It was
watched it.
kind of
No, go ahead.
it was kind of mind blowing. I mean, especially well, even on a medium dose for me.
Yeah.
But I found it way easier to follow now after all of our discussions and all of our
Yeah.
ideas getting thrown out there.
Yeah, that's yeah. I watched it 2 nights ago. I'm still tripping off of it. I said I'm gonna have to go watch it one more time because maybe I didn't watch it enough. But I was like, golly, I was like, when it talk about how your brain kind of opens up, and then she kind of became like that once she was able to feel everything, bro.
It
That's the
became
part.
the one.
Yeah, I feel it
One,
all.
man.
And I can remember everything. I remember when I was born. I remember like all the way back to like drinking milk out my mom's breast.
Yeah, yeah, that gives me chills even thinking
Yeah,
about it.
it was giving me chills, especially when she turned into that computer, that black stuff that was kind of flowing out and stuff.
The network, man. The web, the eternal web,
Yeah, she
so
turned into
called.
that
The
computer
grid,
basically.
the grid, yeah. The grid that's supposed to be there that we see during psychedelics. Definitely the person who wrote that did psychedelics, like most definitely. most definitely. That was part of the review trip that a lot of 80% of psychedelic travelers experience, whether through mushrooms, DMT, or LSD. A lot of people go through that review thing right back to like being like caveman, and you're there, fucking eight people.
Yeah, yeah. That's the
Yeah, it's
part,
like an
Rob.
80% trip.
It made
People
me
did that
think
shit.
of your experience when you seen the pyramids, and you was like
Yeah.
able to kind of. She did that to where she was controlling time and swiping forward and swiping backwards.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that was pretty close.
I said
That
that
was
shit was
pretty close.
yeah, and it's like okay, so when you open up that major part of your brain, you bro, you be able to understand everything. You be able to see everything more clear. You be yo your judgment is totally different than it ever was before. Everything is totally different. You don't even got the primitive thinking that you had before. You let go of all the human abilities and things that you thought was something. It's
Yep.
like you let it go.
All your filters, all your restrictions.
But that is kind of scary though. That is scary at the same time because like you hear in the human experience, and to be able to want to let it go and not have it is like I don't know, that's a whole nother experience, bro. It's a whole nother journey.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother journey.
Yeah,
Yeah, we only
I
use
finally went on a
8%.
pretty decent.
Sorry,
I
Rob, brother.
finally went on a pretty decent Lucy. You get on a pretty decent Lucy trip last weekend.
Oh
Nice.
yeah, what was that like?
Um, I should have taken more. I don't know what it is with me. I was with somebody else. I know being distracted is part of it, but I did 2.5 gummies, and for me personally, I think on the level I like to be on, I don't understand my body, man. I just don't get it. I think I think 5 would be more in my range.
Yeah,
And I
five.
was scared of it. I was scared of it at first. So that's why I did 2.5. If I could have rewound the clock, I would have done at least 4. But even then, I, I what surprised me about it was how much control that I felt like I still had in this reality. Like I felt like I could still take phone calls, I could still communicate if I needed to.
Yeah,
I could I still had the cognitive ability to handle stuff in this reality. But it's almost like I just had the physical visuals uh more than that. Like on mushrooms it feels so internal and self-reflective, and I feel like I'm channeling somewhere else. Like I can travel to other dimensions and be completely gone, completely gone. And on the Lucy I felt a little more like I wasn't as self-reflective as much. I wasn't channeling. It didn't feel as much like I was traveling through my soul or through another soul. It felt like I was still very grounded in this reality,
yeah,
but had some of the visual effects of like a higher mushroom trip. Um, but I know what I am doing next one. I am getting me a sleeping bag and I am laying out underneath the
yeah,
stars because
Mm.
the scenery was we had a beautiful view outside the living room window, middle of the woods. Can see the highest peak in Colorado, Pikes Peak, from the living room. You step on the porch, there's elk that come by, deer that come by. I mean, you're in nature, and so it's a beautiful place to trip.
it's in the
And
room plugged up on the bed. Sorry about that.
you good. And at one point, it felt like I was going so fast that I couldn't keep up with it. There was some closed eye spaces where I closed my eyes, looked down, and I would see like a village. Then I would see like a chief or a tribe, and then like I would see a futuristic city, and it was like going by so fast I couldn't even take notes of it to remember.
Yeah.
Like it was just flashing by, flash, 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 like city, village, history, future, um, space, different people, and like it was just I only remember like when it was doing that, I only remember like two of those flashes, but it felt like I had 10 of them. But
Man.
I wish I would have explored that place a little bit more, because that place felt like I was just closed eyes in the kitchen, completely aware I'm in the kitchen, completely aware I'm with my friend, can talk normal like I am now, and and but I felt like I could make these different visions appear. And I wish I would have closed my eyes and dug into that a little deeper. But it was happening so fast, like I said, I might see a flash of something once a second of a completely different atmosphere or environment. And it was happening so fast that I, I basically couldn't handle it. It was like too much.
Oh
Open my
damn.
eyes again.
Yeah.
And because it wouldn't stay still. I couldn't stay there and just focus. I couldn't. It wouldn't let me stay in one place. It was just different visions coming so fast. And and of course I got some of the classic wavy floor. I saw where like trees they'll kind of bunch up where it looks like what would you call it? Like a motion blur where it looks like there's a trail behind it. Like
Yeah.
it's one tree, one branch, but it looks like that branch like multiplies like 6 or 7 times, and there's multiple branches that are with it. You can't tell which one is a real branch because it's kind of like a slow motion blur where
Damn,
you
you had a dope.
yeah, well I maybe I describe it real well, but it wasn't that intense. Um I'm just describing it. I'm just describing it real well. Now, favorite part, my favorite part was lying underneath the stars. I went underneath the stars, and each star looked like its own little individual airplane or bug or something. They all were flying around, or most of them were, and they all had a little trail behind them. And
Yeah.
like some of them would do a circle, then travel another direction, and some of them would move a certain another way. And watching the stars just fly around like they were alive was incredible.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
that was absolutely my
Cause
favorite part.
they are alive. This level remind me of the Jesters.
and uh and then the colors, man, I love the colors on Lucy. The so like the night sky, I remember seeing like, now imagine like a ray of sun coming down from the sky, almost like it's coming from heaven or something, like a spotlight down to one spot. I saw rays of sunlight in the nighttime coming
Hey,
from the sky. And at first I was like, huh, a beam of sunlight coming from the clouds. And then I was like, wait a minute, it's
it's
fucking
not.
nighttime.
It's nighttime. How the hell?
I was like, ain't that something? I saw like three different beams of light coming down that looked like classic sunlight, like a beam shining through a hole in the clouds. And that was really cool. Um, of course, music is was awesome. Um, but my friend, he hasn't done Lucy. Now he's the one I trip with in Colorado once a year now. That we've done a trip once a year since they legalized mushrooms again. He
Yeah.
cuts hair. He's a barber in Denver, and uh, shout out Holly Street Barbers. And he did two, and he went way deeper than I did.
Which
Now,
what?
what was funny, was he was still like I'm talking about. He was still like able to speak clear, think clear, hold a conversation as we can now if he wanted to. But when and he was getting real good visuals, but he said when he closed his eyes, that's when the ride started.
Yeah.
And he started walking around in circles, pacing. I was like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "Man, I'm just getting ready to close my eyes again." He said, "I know it's coming." I was like, "Dang, it's like that." He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "When I close my eyes, it's it's the brightest light, some of the brightest light I've ever seen."
Damn.
And uh and it's funny. He that happened to him on a mushroom trip where we were quiet for a while and he opened his eyes and he said it was like, "Oh my God, it was so bright. I had to open my eyes."
What?
And we laughed at him for we like remember that quote now. It's like, damn. I was like, so there you go. Inside in your own mind, you can create light.
Yeah.
It's how your brain translate that signal.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
brain is what tells you that's bright. Your brain is what tells you that's purple. Your brain is what tells you that's green. That's neon. That's dark. And for whatever reason, when he's tripping on heavier trips, he the lights are way brighter for him when he closes his eyes. And so he was seeing like at one point Future came on and he saw like this reptilian version of him, um, with all kinds of colors and waves in the background. And he said that was dope. And there was uh so most of it was different lights and patterns for him. But there was at one point in the trip
Yeah.
where I
Yeah.
looked at him, he was lying on his back and he had his eyes closed and he like looks like he's starting to grab stuff like in front of him. He's on his back, he reaches his hands out in the air and like he's trying to grab something or move something. And it's like he opens his eyes, he's like, "Holy shit." He's like, I got to get out of there." And I was like, what was that?" He said it was like this it was like I was fighting this tentacle underwater. This tentacle with like crazy colors and patterns on it. And he said, "I don't know what the fuck that was." And I was like, I said, "Well, like some people see an octopus while tripping."
Yeah.
And I explained he hadn't heard that before, and I explained that to him. And I said what you said, that some people say, some people are scared of it and say, stay away from it. But I said, if you can stay in there, stick around for a little bit. Don't fight. See if you can just see where it takes you. And because it might show you something. It might be trying to show you something.
Yeah.
Um, but
Nah,
yeah, he couldn't get it to show up again. But I was really happy for him. He absolutely loved it. He's like, "I don't know why I waited so many years to do this shit again." He's like, "This shit is fun." He's like, "This shit is fun."
That's dope. You didn't do no mushrooms?
Yeah, I ate a couple of them too. A couple grams of them too. But I told him, I said, "I don't know what's up with me and psychedelics." I said, I'm like the damn Cookie Monster. I'll just take the whole jar and turn it up
Yeah, and just keep going.
and keep going. Yeah, I was eating them. He started laughing. I was like, "Oh." I was sitting at the counter and I started eating some of my capsules. And he was like, "You're eating mushrooms right now?" I said, "Yep." I said, "This shit don't bother me." And he laughed at that. He was like, he's over there just
Man.
munching mushrooms down, saying, "This shit don't bother me."
Yeah. Yeah, once you learn how to ride them,
Yeah.
almost like just having a drink.
Yeah, you as we always say, you create the fear.
Yourself.
It's up to you to create it or not.
Yeah. To be fear or not to be fear. So how many days did y'all actually trip?
Oh, it was just one night.
Oh,
I did a hit of DMT a little later that night,
yeah.
and shit, it'd been like 3 months since I did that, and or probably yeah, it was probably may have been since the meetup, but man, I don't know what it is. I get a lot of the same stuff on DMT. Um, I saw like a I saw like a jack of clubs with a white background. It looked just like the classic card, but it looked like just one half of it. I didn't get the one upside down. I got, or maybe the one upside down was there, but I didn't focus on that one. I focused on the upper half, and like it zoomed me into that card, and then all of a sudden I feel like I feel like I'm just in white light, but I felt like I was on a conveyor belt and I was just being sliced, like chomp sliced,
Damn.
and like processed and sliced and processed when I say processed, just moved down the line.
Yeah.
And I get this I always get this high
Yeah.
like
That.
the AM radio sound,
Yeah.
like I get that, I always get that frequency whenever I go. I shouldn't say always. I get that most of the time whenever I smoke DMT. I get that really high frequency sound, and I don't know why it does that or what that is.
I
And
get.
so that sound comes in, and I saw the jack of clubs in, and I think it was clubs. It may have been spades, and it was weird to get processed like that because like the geometry usually it crushes me or jumbles me around, kind of like I'm going through a trash compactor or something. It just feels like it always, say always again, like
Huh.
80% of the time, 80-90% of the time when I go deep on it, it feels like I'm being physically processed. Like my body and soul is being compacted, thrown through some kind of recycle process and spit back out again. And the coolest one of that was where I was eaten by the dragons. That was the coolest one.
Yeah.
But the physical feeling is similar to that.
What color
Um,
was the dragons?
the first one, I mean, all so three dragons, three different colors. There's the color of the dragon, but they had writing and symbols inside of them. So they may have had some symbols outside too, but I didn't get to see that much because I was getting eaten by them. I only saw the inside um of their mouths, of their throats.
Yeah.
So when I was getting eaten, that's where I saw. I can't remember all of it, but it looked like hieroglyphs, cuneiform. Um,
Somebody got what?
yeah, you got a lot of noise. Somebody.
Oh, it's
Oh, my
Theo.
fault. What up?
Oh, you guys, what up, Tia?
Let me mute my shit. Hold on. Sorry.
Yeah, and so the first dragon was black, and when I got eaten by him, I could barely see shiny black of like hieroglyphs, cuneiform symbols. I couldn't really tell what they were. Um, but imagine like black on black text, but the text, like it's dragon scale skin, um, but the text is like glossy black. So you can kind of see it, you just can't see it well. It's like really hard to see. And but the next one was a lot clearer. The next one was a blue dragon with red symbols inside of them. They all had similar symbols, the same type of script, the same type of colors, or I'm sorry, the same type of writing inside of them. So like I said, I can't remember what it was, but it was something between hieroglyphs, cuneiform, and other symbols that I don't know. And maybe a mixture of all three. I want to say I saw like a mixture of all three. So when it was blue on red, it was a lot easier to see. And I'm like, oh shit, look at those symbols. That's what I'm seeing in the black. But I couldn't really tell. I could tell something was kind of written inside of them, but I couldn't tell what. And then the blue on red, the blue dragon with red text was a lot clearer, and I'm jumbled around in that one. And then the blue dragon spits me out, and the third dragon was a black dragon also, but the text inside of it was gold this time, so it was very clear to read. And that was the coolest looking one to me, was the black on gold dragon.
Oh damn.
And that was definitely the funnest one.
I don't
The
get
funnest
why
one
you
where I
even
felt
see
like I
them
was
dragons.
tumbled around.
That should be hella weird. Cause like when you go and look at the Chinese dragons and stuff, that's what to me it'd be looking like exactly.
Yeah.
Like on DMT,
Yeah,
that's
it
all I
looks
used to
similar
get
to
is
them.
like that ancient like China look or something. So did he go in on the DMT or no?
Oh no, he was still tripping hard whenever. He was barely keeping it together to help me light it.
Oh damn. He said he was barely.
I mean, yeah, he. I was proud of him just for being able to help me, light it and hold the bowl and stuff. Because he had never lit it. He hasn't ever lit DMT before.
Oh,
So I was
yeah.
having to, kind of describe to him, hey, don't be scared to put the torch on it. You just want to, once you start getting smoke, you take it off.
Was this your most recent trip?
Yes, it was. Did you just hop in here, Theo?
Yeah, I just hopped in.
Okay. Yeah, I went over the Lucy part of it. This is the first time I told anybody about it. Now the Dragons was a DMT trip several months ago.
That's what I thought. Yeah. How was it, brother?
Yeah.
How was that lucidity?
Oh, the lucidity was amazing. It was dope. I was telling True, I was like, what was I was talking about in here was what was crazy about it to me was I felt super grounded to this realm. Like I felt like I had control. Like I got 2 phone calls while I was tripping. I was able to handle them fine. Like I didn't want to talk for long, but I was still able to handle them. And I felt like I could hold a conversation almost as easy as we're able to hold one now. Like it's crazy that I felt that grounded and felt that clear in this realm, but at the same time could get wild visuals.
Yeah, like closed eye visuals.
Yeah, I got both closed and open.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, I'm definitely next time. I'm definitely leaning to. I did 2.5. I'm gonna definitely lean toward the 5 next time. I feel very comfortable with it. I was
That's what I figured. I thought so. I didn't want to tell you just to take 5 or 10. And Brother Rob, this shit is safe. But I'm like,
yeah. Well, yeah, and that's a smart way to do it. I did it the smart way.
Yeah, you did. Is this a new plug?
Yeah, the scenery we were at was in the mountains, in the woods, very little light pollution, no highway noise. You can't, you can, you can barely see the next house. You know, trees everywhere,
Yeah.
mountains in the background, and yeah, next time I do it, I definitely want to. I want like half of my trip, at least like an hour of it to be under the stars, like because
Yeah.
the stars were the dopest part about it.
Bro, the sky gets so expansive, like you can understand the distance between the stars more clearly or something.
Yeah,
Stars are amazing. That was always one of my most fascinating fracks off the Lucy. Once it gets later in the night, stars and moon, I would just stop and stare at it for hella long.
yep,
Yeah, bro.
yep.
I'm going in off
That's
4 of them.
Is that
I'm
why
gonna
they
take
said
4 for my
Lucy
birthday.
in the sky?
It
yeah.
has to be true with diamonds too.
With
It is
diamonds.
like
Yep.
a diamond visual. You get that crystally fractal shine visual. This shit's amazing, bro.
Yeah, they on my journey they almost looked like little bugs or little airplanes, and they were like flying around, not
Like in
like
your
super
vision.
fast, but they were flying around, and they had a trail behind them, like like some of them were going straight, diagonal, some of
Yeah,
them were
bro.
going like kind of in a circle, making a circle.
Is it kind of like the ones you see when you look at a blue sky and really just zone into it, zone out on it?
Yeah, but they were moving
But like
more than that. I
pronounced.
mean, they were.
Because I've seen sometimes on Lucy it'll show me that, but like real fractally. I can see them a lot more visually, like solid.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'll see
yeah.
like stuff over my vision flying by my eyes and shit. Feels like or it looks like old Western film and weird shapes and stuff.
Damn.
Like sometimes it'll just turn on Western film and my like stomach sinks and it feels like I'm empty all of a sudden and I'm just like fractaling out. It feels like there's hieroglyphs floating out of my head and in and out. I'm just that's so Raven, just fuck. That's
Oh
why
yeah.
when I trip off Lucy, I gotta go into the forest or something alone for like 3 hours. Once I get through that part, or not get through it, once I enjoy that, then I can do anything.
Yeah. One of the most impressive visuals I got was I saw beams of sunlight in the nighttime.
Beams of, yeah, sometimes I'll see a bright something and it kind of trips me out.